Hello, welcome to day 14 of the Tarot Ramble, and we'll talk about tarot and oracles and all the things that eventuate from the cards we draw. I'm just going to sort out this candle because it keeps drowning in its own wax. People don't know how to make candles anymore. I used to make candles. It was my first business, and I started it when I was 13 because when we were kids, we didn't have fireworks. I still don't like fireworks. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified of the noises. I startle really easily. And when I jump, when someone makes me jump, my whole being literally goes into shock, and it can take me an hour or more to get over it. It's ridiculous. When I was a child, it was horrible. Like, I couldn't go to parties because I was terrified of a balloon banged. The person who would take me to school or whatever would have to ask the guys with the pneumatic drills if they were doing work on the road to stop them while I walked past. Now I avoid loud noise. I wear noise cancelling headphones pretty much 24/7. Fireworks were really a big no-no for me. I mean, I love the displays, don't get me wrong. I got given a candle making kit and I absolutely loved it. I'll never ever forget the joy I had from that kit. I'd never done anything like that before, never thought about it. I don't know where the idea came from, but I was obsessed. And I made loads of candles. I had it off for fine art, and then I started selling them. I made so many candles. It was amazing. That story, I didn't plan to tell that story today, and it only came about because of the candle has got a wick that's too thin for it. They make these candles and the wick's too thin and it can't absorb all of the wax, so it drowns in its own wax. You have to have the right size wick for the wick of the candle. Yeah, that story just came about randomly. It's very connected to today's card because for some reason, which is the first time I think it's happened to me in this challenge, I automatically did my tarot drawers when I got up in the morning. I drew the Ace of Muses or the Ace of Wands. And it's got the Mary Poppins man with his umbrella flying away and the swallow. I don't quite get the imagery. Let's see what the book says. So before we read the book, let's talk about what the Ace of Wands means. So the Ace of Wands is a spark, isn't it? It's an ignition. It's the fire, but it's that igniting of the fire. Like we got the Ace of Pentacles yesterday, the seed, planting the seed. The Ace of Wands is the striking of the match, the alchemy, the two things connecting, the two flints, and it creates this passion, this fire, and it's different for everyone, that spark. Sometimes I get the spark, this real spark, and my whole being feels like it's like excited to be, this purity of being in life. And that's usually something in nature. Like I'll see a really thundery sky or a certain quality of light and my whole being will spark. So that ignites me. That ignites my passion for being alive. And there's so many things that inspire me that can do that ignition. The trick is to carry on, you've got to have like sustenance. You've got to have something to keep feeding that fire. It's no good igniting something if it's going to go out. So you need some kind of sustenance to follow it up. So I think sometimes the Ace of Wands can possibly be a damp squib because it is only the beginning and it's what you do with it that makes a difference. And we can all be offered something and we can all make different things with it, you know? That's how I feel about the Ace of Wands. It's the ignition, and then you've got to take it and run with it. And it's up to you what you do with it. I would say it was definitely a yes card, and it's related to the suit of summer, the Ace of Wands. It's life. I mean, the wands came from trees originally, and it's life, and they're always the thing. Like in the fairy tales, the magic wand that makes it go. I've got a wand somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. I've had a few, but because I was thinking about the Poets Tarot and decks that are similar to this that are really creative. The one that I could think of that came to mind really quickly was the Numinous Tarot, and this is a fantastic deck. I followed the journey from the beginning and all of the cards as they were released. It's by Noah Arthur Hempel. It's a very inclusive deck, and I love it because the suits are candles, vials, spoons, as for books and bells. So you've got a deck with book, bells and candles. Who can resist that? And the suits, the court cards are really good as well because they have the dreamer, the explorer, the creator, and the mystic instead of the traditional page like Queen and King. So I really love it. I love that deck. And this is their Ace of Wands card. It's a candle. So I'll read what they say about the Ace of Wands first but I've really been enjoying this Poets Tarot. It's great. I recommend if you're a writer or an artist that you definitely get this deck and the Numinous one. Behold the spark of inspiration. Our candle, that is our spirit, has been lit with the light of passion, creativity, and motivation. When this card appears, it may signify you found something new and interesting to pursue. This card is especially important for creators and makers, indicating your readiness and excitement to make whatever it is that's come into your heart as of late. It's time to focus our energy on what feeds our soul and our sense of who we are and the communities we wish to be part of. An interesting trait of sunflowers is that they're heliotropic. That means they move to follow and face the sun. This card encourages you to be like the sunflowers and pay attention to whatever it is that feeds you, gives you strength and brightens your day. That's brilliant. And then, so they've got the reversed meaning. When reversed, the light has gone out and we feel stifled, stuck and uninspired. We wonder where our motivation has gone to and can't seem to muster any up for doing what we used to love doing. The appearance of this card reversed suggests a need to reflect and reconnect with what inspires passion in us. Oh my goodness. Perhaps we need to re-engage with the people and things we love, or perhaps what we love has changed and we need to discover a new source of motivation. Sometimes it can indicate it's simply not time for us to start something new yet. So this is crazy because this whole YouTube thing, this journey, before I actually made a video this time around, I had so many cards encouraging me. They were all saying, go for it, go for it, go for it. Signs, symbols, astrology, everything, go for it, go for it, go for it. It took me 3 months, but it was inspired by reading what it said here about the turning back to whatever it is that came into your heart of late and focus your energy on what feeds your soul and the sense of who you are and the communities you want to be part of and things new and interesting you want to pursue. I'm learning is one of my huge passions. I can research anything as well. If someone wants to know, even if I've got no interest in it at all, I will research it and enjoy it and love it and keep going. The reason when I started the channel, I was feeling a bit low, very low. While I talk, I'll go through this deck so you don't just have to listen to me. So I was feeling really low, as I said, facing emptiness, 60, feeling like the empty carrier bag when everything has been taken away. And you've got this, once, you used to come home and you have a carrier bag, you get the carrier bag or the Christmas stocking, and it's full of all these delicious things and everyone wants to get it and get it all out and unwrap all the things and all the carrier bag from the supermarket. And then the carrier bag gets screwed up in a ball and left on the floor. Or if you're really lucky, it gets screwed up and put into one of those bag things that you hang on the back of a pantry door to put carrier bags in so you can use them again. And I coined this idea. It came into my head when I had babies because I wanted to keep my inside baby. I loved the happy, healthy outside baby, but the inside baby was special. When the babies were born, because of the people around me and sometimes how they treated me, I felt like an empty carrier bag. And it wasn't because I didn't want the baby. I loved the baby with all my heart. It was because I felt like I was nothing anymore and I was pretty useless. And it was the empty carrier bag feeling that actually had me leaving my whole life and moving to the other end of the planet to a place I knew nothing about. Because I was so worthless. I had to do something to prove that I was not this useless empty carrier bag. And I started to get this feeling again because I had my children. I had to look after them. I had to survive. We had to survive. I'd brought them into a situation and I had to provide and make a new life for us. And I did it. But that was 20 years ago. Now I'm 20 years older. I've been through a lot. It took a lot out of me doing that. It was not easy. And I've been on my own. I've looked after my kids. I've had hard times with them. I've helped with grandchildren. I had my grandson for quite a long time, my first grandson. I've had mental health issues, breakdowns, you know, all kinds of things to cope with. When all of that's gone, because I've always been a nurturer, when the kids are gone and there's no one left to look after, I feel empty because my whole life has been spent looking after other people. So what's left for me? And in May, I think it was a spark, but the wrong kind of spark. My daughter said something about leaving, and although I thought I'd got good boundaries, I obviously hadn't, and I went into a very deep depression, and I couldn't really do anything for 3 or 4 days. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I think I drank wine, and then nothing was working, you know, like it said in the book. Nothing was firing me. And I don't know, about 3 or 4 days in, I decided I had to do something, because I've been working on depression and living with it for years and years and years. I've lived with it all my life. But I didn't want to go into that deep, deep gloom. I get terrified because I know how it can be. So I made a list of the things that brought me joy. And one of the things was my photography and creating, and obviously my journaling and learning things. Well, there was an app on the iPhone. It's called Journal or something. And it appeared, and I didn't really know what it was. And I was looking at it, and you can get prompts every day to write something or take a photo or a video or add some music or whatever. So I looked at it and I thought, wow, because I used to love photography so much. And I've only had a phone for years, but I had all this lovely gear. But I've never done video. And I thought, right, okay, I really would like to learn video. So I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to learn video. And it wasn't like instant fire and flame and passion. It was a little slow seed, like the Ace of Pentacles, and the little the mini steps. So I got my phone, and a few days later I went out to make a video, discovered it was broken, went on YouTube. I mentioned this before. Oh, look at the lovely hermit. That's beautiful. And I went on YouTube to see if I could fix the camera. Saw those videos about why you should start a YouTube channel if you're over 50 or whatever. Didn't watch any, but it obviously stuck in my mind. A couple of weeks after that, I thought, I wonder what that video was about. And I went to have a look, and I found there were lots of them. So I watched one or two. One was by somebody called Diane Moore. And I thought, well, I could do this. I did it years ago, but it was different. It had this whole different feel. YouTube had a very different feel now to what it was like in 2016. It's all about the algorithm creating and everything like that. Again, the seed grew a little bit bigger. It grew a shoot and it kept growing. And then eventually, I think in July, I made a video, and that's when I lost my channel. It was really bad. The sound was very echoey. The light was awful. And I lost it. I posted it before I wimped out, and then I lost the login to the channel. And then it was a real damp squib, because then I felt really low, really down, and I didn't want to do any more about it. But it came back again. The idea kept coming back to me, and the cards kept coming back. I went onto my old YouTube channel, this one, and I made a video, just one or two videos. One about tarot journaling, I think, and another one about journaling. And I uploaded them, and people replied. People were there, and I haven't uploaded a video about tarot or anything for years. Like, I think it's 4 years or more. And I was so humbled, and that was a massive, massive load of sticks on my bonfire, and that flame really ignited. And then I had to learn all of this stuff, because, as I said, YouTube's different now. There's stuff to learn. And I joined that community I told you about called School, and I'm learning. So this challenge, it came about just because it was the first of the month. Again, another seed, another thing. The 1st of September, and I thought, I'm going to do something. And I've been learning something every day, not only from the cards, because every time you draw a tarot card and you look at it again, you get different ideas. That's why it's a growing, living thing. It's not done and dusted. I was learning about, the technology, the lights, all the things going wrong. I know the videos are not perfect. They're probably never going to be perfect. But to me, they're fun and creative, and I enjoy it. And the feedback, I mean, I'm like a mini micro pinhead, whatever, of nothingness channel. But to the people who are there for me, I am, and we are, because I see it. I couldn't do it without them. I wouldn't have kept going. So it's like it is a community. So that card is so perfect, and I'm nearly crying. So yeah. Right, let's see what the poet says about the Ace of Muses, because they've been very different with their meanings. Think about what creative projects might be on the horizon for you. A new collection of poems, a new piece of artwork. Now is the time to reflect on your creative process, how you move from idea to concrete form. Maybe the poem mostly takes shape within your mind before it hits the paper, or perhaps you begin with a nebulous idea and the poem becomes itself as you write, like the angel in the marble. That wasn't in the book. Consider too where your artistic ideas arise, mostly from your intellect and from your emotional intuitive side. In other words, does your artistic expression tend to be from the head or from the heart? It might be helpful to journal about your creative process and to note the moment when you first conceived some of your completed projects. Key phrase is birthing ideas. How do I move from inspiration to form and exploring my source? That's great. I like that. How do I move from inspiration to form? That is what I was kind of touching on before when I said about the damp squib and stuff. That's the thing. The inspiration has got to be fed. You cannot leave it. Once it comes, once it hits, you've got to run with it. You've got to go with it. And it's like a car. If you just fire it up and leave it running and don't go anywhere, it's going to run out of petrol or battery these days. There is our Ace of Muses, precariously propped up on a fiery candle. Okay, I kept the Wisdom of the House of Night, whatever it's called. I kept this away because I realised yesterday there was a horrible glare from the light on the back of the shiny cards on the edge of the video. I didn't realise until after I uploaded it. But now I told you yesterday I've had to start checking my videos because of the... But I think I'm doing well. I think for day 14, and I don't often tell myself that, and I'm going to keep going. I'm not halfway till tomorrow. So it's another one today. So, okay, are we ready? And you know what? 7 days of using that deck, this poet deck, and not once did I get one of the unmentionable cards. Not once did I get a quill. Right, are we ready? Is it upside down? Oh my gosh! This is crazy, crazy, crazy! Dawn and Jamie, are you watching this? The fledgling, the seed, the Ace of Wands, and fledgling. Right, where's my... And we'll look it up. And it's number one. Look! Oh my God! Can you see that? It is number one. I'm just meant to be here. And you know what? The other amazing thing, this room I'm in now is a big room and it's quite cold. It's got no heating or... Since I've been making these videos in it and using it, it's started to become warm and loving and a place I want to be. And that's never happened in this room ever before. It's always been like the spare room and where my kids leave all their stuff. And I used to use it as an art room. I haven't made art as such for ages. This is my new art. I never felt that same feeling about it. I always end up being in my bedroom, which is pretty much the room I live in. It's pretty big. Yeah, this room is growing into a nice place too. Dear one, when you receive the symbol of the fledgling, know that you are blessed with a time of learning new things. Oh my goodness, that is so crazy. I just don't believe these cards. You've witnessed what's been happening. And honestly, you just couldn't make it up for you. This is a time for you to remember that you cannot know things until you experience them. Being in this evolving state means you may stumble a bit. Yay! Don't expect yourself to be perfect. Now is the time for being gentle with yourself as you step into your destiny to become the beautiful person you are meant to be. When the fledgling appears to you, it's a sign of new growth and wonderful new opportunities. Step forward with curiosity and the willingness to learn and discover. Oh my God, that's perfect. Can't really say anymore, can I? I feel so much. I haven't felt this shift inside me. I started to feel a shift at the end of last year, last November. Inside me, I kept feeling it shifting, something shifting. And it's just amazing, you know, it's just been amazing. And my energy's been amazing, I think. I've got to give myself a little bit of credit. Even though I've had hard times this year too, I kept going, I kept believing. And it's like everything is building. I mean, me in my life to come into my own being and really be at home in me and know that I am this worthy person Oh my God, I want to give it to everyone. I want to give it to all of you. I want to give this to you all, this feeling, because I'm not anything special or different. I'm just me. But as I said the other day, I believe one person can change the world. I know one person can change the world. And it starts in the same way. It starts by planting a seed or throwing a pebble in a pond. I have managed to change. And when I say change the world, I don't mean it's something massive you do overnight. I mean little tiny things that act like ripples. One little example, years and years ago, I've always campaigned against Nestle since long before my children were born. Never bought their product. Many years ago in England, when my firstborn was at junior school, the coupons that cut me out of the cereal box. I went straight up to school, marched in with all my literature and photos and stuff about Nestle, and I spoke to the secretary, who I kind of got on with, although she was very prim and proper and kind of, not thought I was a bit of an oddball, but we still got on okay. And she was called Ruby, and I love the name Ruby. My daughter's partner's Ruby. I told them all this stuff. I said, you can't do this. There's no way you can do this. These Nestle are doing these things. They're killing babies. I was just, I was going crazy about these people and how could they do this? And you know what? By that afternoon, they'd written a letter to all the parents explaining they were no longer supporting the campaign. They sent them a letter that I'd written with it about why they didn't want to support it. And that school had like 200 children, so 200 parents, or 400 if they were two. If one person stopped buying Nestle because of that, and then they went and told someone else. See, that's how it works. I'm just a very, very little, small, ordinary little person. Now, I know I'm a bit odd and that, but yeah, I'm just who I am. Anyway, I want to say thank you. Thank you for this amazing, amazing 2 weeks almost. And I've got to choose a deck for next week. I haven't done that yet. I've used a Numinous Tarot in my challenge, so I can't really use that. I've got to. I really want to make myself stick with these decks for the end till the end of the year. And to be honest, it's not going to be difficult because there's a lot of lovely ones I haven't used yet. I do have a really, really special deck that I think there are only ever 500 made, if that. It's called The Diary of a Broken Soul. Maybe I'll find that one out. The cards have actually got slots in them so you can build houses with them. It didn't have a guidebook. I don't know if there's a guidebook anywhere. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. Thank you again. I'm incredibly buzzing and honoured by everything. I just can't believe these cards. Okay, bye.